Hello everyone, this is Firstbourne from LEGO Ninjago Season 9. It features a very impressively sized and shaped fire dragon, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. First, let's look at one of the smaller things. Honestly, I just want to get this thing out of the way quickly so that I can spend most of the video talking about and showing you the dragon. But that said, this hunter copter, as they call it, is interesting. It's like the opposite of the just another Lego helicopter phenomenon. Everything about this is unique. I don't think I've ever seen them do a helicopter quite like this, with the techniques used for almost every major section of it. I mean, the tail boom is a part that I don't think they've used in this way previously with just a single one. This is kind of cool. I think I've seen that done before for the tail rotor. But the main rotor has a very simple action feature. You just spin that up and works just fine while you're holding it. You just need a single finger, and there's a lot of weight in that rotor pair, so it keeps on spinning. I think I spun it the wrong way, but that's okay. It looks good. You can actually angle it forward a little bit for a more forward flight if you want, and there's enough clearance for that. This canopy section is built up really interestingly, and it's able to open. It doesn't have any glass in it, but I think that's fine. Can kind of close around the pilot pretty well. I like the use of these new weapon pieces in the front to give it a little extra flair there, but you can just open that up and a single pilot fits in there just fine and has two control sticks. You get action features or shooting features with the stud shooters, one on either side. Good use of, or good choices of colors there. These skids, the way they are built and the way they're attached is something new to me. The engine looks pretty good. One thing that I don't like here is just that blue. I mean, that's how much I have to nitpick to get to something that I really don't like here. But the engine detail is cool. It has clips, one on either side, to hold on to the minifig accessories, so you don't need to find your own place to store those. And this is a weapon thing, or it can be used as a tool, but you remove the clip right there, and this is able to be fired off. Use your imagination a little bit, but you can attach it to a dragon to try to bring a dragon down, or you can attach a figure to it. You could hook a figure with it on the attack, or a figure could be lowered in an assault. A figure could be lowered down someplace, or a figure could grab that and then climb up to the helicopter. And you also have bait on the back, so you can take one of these turkey legs off. Another one you'll see later in somewhere else in the set, but you can take another of these off and attach that to the clip here, use it as bait for a dragon, or take the whole thing off, the entire turkey, and use that as bait for an even larger dragon. So that's it for this kind of side build, but it's cooler than I expected. So the dragon, then. Well, before I get in and show you all the points of articulation and smaller details of the build and everything, let's just take a minute to enjoy this from afar. Don't miss the forest for the trees. Just see its overall size and shape, really what this thing is in total. It's fully brick built except for the wings. The wings are vinyl pieces. They come on a single sheet, and you actually get to pre-fold them along some crease marks to give them some extra shape and allow them to actually flex a little bit. And the build doesn't have anything too strange about it. Doesn't have anything that was frustrating to put together. Even attaching the wings, which on some Lego sets that have had cloth pieces or plastic pieces has been an issue in the past. I really didn't have any trouble there, even with the additional bending steps to get the little scalloping shapes in there. Really wasn't an issue for me, and it works. It definitely works. Plus, it has a major feature, and it's a little bit subtle, but I think it's intended to be a major feature, and I think it's pretty cool. That is unexpected for me and works really well. It's an action feature that is integrated into the body, and it doesn't scream at you. It doesn't say, "Hey, action feature here." It's just nicely integrated and just allows you to do this, to flap the wings. It's very simple. It's plenty strong. You can feel the air being moved by those wings. You can flap it just about however quickly you like, and if you don't want to use that feature, you don't have to worry about it. I do wish these wings would be able to angle down, for when it's on the ground, but you do have this articulation here, so you can bring them in. You can do a little dive bombing kind of look. The individual phalanges, the fingers, if you will, can be brought together like that, and they can be brought back out. And that's why they have the little pre-bends in there to give it a little more of an organic nature. The little membranes even have some real holes in them, and I think they look pretty good. Sometimes the plastic stuff that Lego does, the thin plastic stuff, doesn't look good, but this definitely does look good. Getting into some finer details, the head is a proper Lego build, and it features just 2 decorated elements, and those decorated elements are both printed, not stickers. There are stickers in this set. You can see some of the other decorations back here on the chest, and you'll see a few more throughout the body, but those right there are on 1x2 by 2/3 curved pieces, and they are printed. There's one for this eye, and then they have a separate print for this eye, so they're mirrored, so 2 unique prints just for this set. I appreciate that very much. I'm gonna make it a point to call out anytime that I see something like that, because I call out when there are too many stickers, and so I want to be fair. A lot of fans have asked for more prints and just regular, kind of the most popular Lego themes, and so it's great to see that. These horns here can be posed in many different ways to really change the look of the thing. Let me just close up the mouth a little bit. I don't know about the snout. I feel like the snout is just a little bit prematurely terminated there. It's just kind of flat, but I like the shape of it from the side very much, but then at the end, maybe that could have actually used a sticker there just for some nostril details. I don't know. But other thing about these horns is that you can rotate them this way to also kind of change things up. Maybe you can even bring those down to make it look a little less aggressive, a little more submissive, like that. So when it gets tamed, you can turn those down or something. Got these flaps on the sides that can be turned in and out. This was a very interesting build. It's all built around a very small center core in there, and yeah, it looks good. It's nice to actually build stuff in Lego rather than just getting really large molded pieces. And you have some articulation here with a ball joint. It doesn't go everywhere, but has some room. And then also the neck goes up and down. That's also on a ball joint, so that can rotate around. You can turn it way off to the side, to the other side. It's got the reins that have enough range of motion. They're not holding you back, so that's all good. The saddle here, just like on the Lightning Dragon, is a removable element, so before this becomes tamed, you can have it very easily just, flying around on its own, and then when you tame it, you just put the saddle on. It attaches very easily. Uses some of those pieces they introduced for the Minecraft sets for minecart track to good effect there. Just a nice shape, and the brown color works really well. It's a nice little build for the saddle, actually. The build for the body is pretty beefy. There are a lot of pieces there. There's a lot of texturing. You see some stickers, not too many. Most of what you see here is just texture and shaping from legitimate parts put together. Some new parts, some very old parts. Well done. They've done a great job to conceal the mechanism for the flapping wings. I mean, as mechanisms go, that's pretty good there. And so again, I want to be fair. I very frequently complain about colors that don't match, that are visible from the outsides of Lego builds, where here they've taken care, the designer has taken care to use matching colors for the mechanism. All the pieces, even into the Technic bricks inside of there. So I appreciate that very, very much. For legs, front legs, you don't have articulating elbows or knees at the back, but you have a preset bend, and there's plenty of range of motion here. Go all the way forward, all the way back. These can splay in and out. You've got these panels here that can move out of the way if needed, or they can stay in close if you want to cover that space up. And you also have the toes, and you also have the ball joint at the end here. I think that's plenty of range of motion, and it's plenty stable. So it's not frustrating to play with this, to move it around. You don't get your hands on it and then have to spend a minute kind of readjusting everything to get it to be able to stand the way you want when you want to just sit it down. There are some spots where you can attach one of those clips launched, the chain element that's launched from the helicopter or from one of the chain rifles from the hunters. And back here, rear legs, similar to the front, larger, 3 toes rather than 2, with the little claws, with the same articulation. Ball joint down here, ratcheted joint back here, goes all the way front, back, splays out and in. And then the tail is nicely done. If you have the dragon fairly level, then you can get this to really look organic, like it's really alive. I mean, it's such a smooth snaking motion. They have enough weight in that tail. Gosh, that looks good. It looks, yeah, this is perfect right here. It really looks like it has muscles inside of it. It almost looks like it's alive. But if you have this at an angle, then it's always going to just fall to one side, and that's okay. There's a trade-off there, because they could have put joints with friction like they did here just at the end with this ball joint at each of those joint locations, and then you could have held it in a specific pose wherever you want. Well, now you kind of can't like this, but that just looks so good when you do this. Notice that you can lift this up and down, but it's not, there's not enough friction right there to hold that in place. But again, I'm okay with that. What else? Anything else? Detail of how the wings are built from the undersides, using all black pieces. I'm not seeing any blue sticking out, blue Technic axle pin pieces. Not seeing any awkward tan pieces sticking out. This is good. Again, I very much appreciate what are, just in my opinion, the right decisions that were made for this, especially with color choices. And I mean, this works well, and it looks good. Being able to fold up the wings like that is good. I wish that you could fold them a little bit more, fold the whole thing back and or down. That's the only thing that I feel is missing here. But if you could have folded it, and that would have removed the ability to flap the wings easily. Get it. There we go. Get my finger from the other side. I think that would have been a poor choice. So again, well done here, in my opinion. I just don't have much to criticize here at all. There's so many things to enjoy, so many things to like about this, so many things to appreciate. And it's large. It's larger even than I expected it to be. That said, though, the box for the set is huge, and when you first open up the box, you will find that it's like a chips bag, potato chips bag, where most of it is air. But that's okay, because what you actually build from the parts is very nice. I mean, look at that. Look at that. That's as good as it gets for Lego for a production set. Here's one final additional build from the set. This is an armor stand, a kind of pedestal that's set up with some of the dragon bone armor. This set comes with the shield and the helmet. They are collectible pieces, so you're supposed to collect them all, but most of the sets come with multiple pieces, or at least one of the good parts. This has hinges at the base, so you can kind of change the overall shape of it if you want. It'll just fit into different spaces. Here are Kai and Cole, and Kai is also holding one of the dragon bone pieces, the dragon bone sword with the dual molded blade and the very ornate new hilt piece in the nice pearly gold there. It's actually the more modern or more recent gold color that's just a little bit less orange than the previous proper pearl gold. Two well-detailed features. Another interesting observation to make with with respect to accessories here is that Kai does not have 2 katanas on his back. He has 2 tantos, shorter swords. That's a new mold as well, and you'll see those throughout this entire series, just a pair of them. Interesting choice to carry 2 of them in his dual sheath. There's the print underneath on the torso for Kai, as well as one of the faces for each of these ninja, and notice that each of their outfits feature some battle damage for this season, and there are the other faces. This bad guy is a girl named Jet Jack. Interesting. Well, I like the jet pack here. Kind of looks like glider wings, but then the idea is that the open studs at the base there are jet exhaust ports, so that works. And you can change the angles of these winglets. You know, you can bring them all the way in if you want. You can also angle them up like so. Some of the box art shows them like that. I like them angled back a bit, but have a little bit of shoulder at the end. Kind of reminds me of a F-14 Tomcat wing design. Got your variable sweep there. This is a great looking figure, top to bottom. The whole thing, everything about it. I like the accessory there, and even the print on the back of the head, which just gives a little bit of transition from the hairpiece without being, you know, too striking. And there's a parachute on the back underneath there. So that's a very, very sensible, very useful print to have hidden most of the time. You know, I figure that most kids will have the jetpack on this character most of the time. So usually in this case, the back print would be useless, but here it totally makes sense. If the jetpack gets shot off, then she's going to need a parachute, and that just helps with the imaginative play. They don't include a physical parachute here, but I appreciate what they do show, and imagination can take it from there. This bad guy is a guy named Chu Toy, and he carries bait along, and he has a shield, a nice little built-up shield piece. Uses that originally introduced in Star Wars part in dark red there. Same colors used on the large Hulkbuster, but a good use of it. He's missing a horn from his helmet, so just one off to one side, and he has a printed breastplate piece. You know, it goes all the way around the chest armor, well, body armor, really. No print on the back of it, but it looks good on the front for sure. His face is funny. He looks beat up. And underneath, he basically has the generic hunter prints, same stuff that's used on most of the bad guy figures for this season, at least so far. The last things I have to show you in this set are Muzzle on the left with his twin katanas, and on the right is the character named Heavy Metal with the chain rifle, and you can pull the hand piece there, the Exoforce hand piece with a clip on it out and fire that as a projectile, which will remain attached to the base with this orange chain. And you know, you can attach that to things like dragons and such. Each of these use the same prints, you know, the generic prints for the torso, hips, and legs. Not my favorite prints from this season, and I think a little bit of a step down in overall quality, but I really like the reversible kind of neck armor pieces that have a little bit of a pauldron on one side, and the face guard, like half face guard, is going to be used forward or back. And when you have them facing this way, then you get the kind of scabbard, you know, simple sword holder on the back for one weapon each. And there's how those look from the backs with the torso prints. The one on the right is a little bit overprinted. I feel like it might have been stamped twice, so the black lines are a little bit thicker, but that's just a little production issue, you know, a little bit of inconsistency. But you do get a little bit of print on the back of the head for Heavy Metal, but it's not continued all the way around. That's too bad that they only stamp on from the back and from the front. They don't take it all the way around to give that complete coverage, you know. To me, this is one of the better dragon sets, I think, that LEGO has made to date. Not the best, but definitely one of the better ones. I mean, you get a large dragon, and yet it's easy enough to build for younger fans. It's very playable. It's designed for play with the figures. It's not trying to be a static model. It has a fair amount of articulation, has a good look, a proper build that makes you feel like you're really putting something together and not just assembling large blocks. Good choices with colors and such. These wings are done pretty well. Even this side build over here for the helicopter, I mean, yeah, it's another helicopter from Lego, but it's cool. It's different. It's really, really different. It has its own personality, does its own thing, and you get a fair number of figures here with an excellent price to part ratio. Excellent, truly excellent. A standout value on the objective basis when you just look at the pieces, but that can always be skewed by a large number of small pieces, little things. You know, if you get 200 1x1 pieces and little barbs in a set, then that doesn't give you a great actual value. But this is a very large dragon, and I feel like the value is there. It's not great when you look at the volume of stuff that you get versus the price you pay, but it's good. It's not something to complain about. And again, with the selection of figures, that's good, including some different ones, not just generic ones for the hunters. This is a really good set. I think Lego has done a good job. There you go. That's my look at it. Hope you enjoyed this, and hope that you'll stick around to check out more of my reviews, because more are on the way, and I'll also be working on some custom stuff again at some point. So thank you for watching, and I will talk to you again very soon.